We spend so much time waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right people to show up in our lives, waiting for the right opportunity to knock at our door. But the thing is, life isn't waiting for us. And I know this sounds like a harsh truth, but the thing is, life goes on. Like the time that we experience, it's a concept that we basically made up. And life passes by like a fleeting moment. And this video is really to inspire you to stop waiting, to really start living your life. Because first of all, you only have this life in this physical experience, and it's shorter than you think. Hi, my name is Martin, and I really made it my purpose here to share with you my experiences from life, my lessons, my failures, my successes, so that I can inspire you to take charge of your own life, to get into the driver's seat of your life and stop holding back so that you can finally be free and live the life that you desire. And today's topic it was inspired by my grandma. And because I'm visiting Austria right now, so if you've watched my videos, you see a different background now as well. And like half an hour ago, I had a conversation with my grandma, and it was very, very inspiring because I know she's had a very hard life. Like my grandparents had a farm, and like it was a completely different lifestyle than the way I grew up. And what she said today it was surprising because I've never heard her say that, but it was also incredibly inspiring. She said, "Do not wait. If you want to do something, do it now, because life passes by so quickly and all of us are going to die." And I was like, that's kind of bleak, like especially the dying part, but it's so freaking true. And especially hearing that from a woman who is 90 something, I think 93 at this point. And hearing her say like, don't wait, don't waste your time waiting and saying like, I'm going to do it later. If you want to do something, do it now. Don't do it in a year, don't do it in 10 years. The thing is, life can be over at any moment. At any moment. And on the one hand, it's kind of scary. On the other hand, it's quite liberating. Why am I say liberating? Because the thing is, on my way here, it's very interesting, like synchronicity, because of what my grandma said today. Because on the way, like when I was driving here, I had this thought, and I was like, all of our problems, everything like that we make so big, like make big issues out of, and especially during times where or with issues that are really small, like being late, the milk costing like 50 cents more, stuff like that, where it's like things that we cannot change. I'm not talking about like, creating conflict that is not really necessary, or destroying someone else's life, or abusing. Like, I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about like the things that we very often make problems out of, where if we just took a moment and say, is that even worth it to think about it like for the next 20 years? Or is it like something that I can just accept and let go? Those are the things I'm talking about. And I was like, there's so many things that I've experienced in my life that looking back, I'm like, why did I make a big deal out of that? Why? In 100 years from now, pretty much everybody who's alive today will not exist anymore. So if I offended someone, not knowing that they would be offended by being me, like, people get offended for me being gay. If I make that like a big deal, then I'm like, it's not going to matter in like 50 years, 100 years. Not that our existence doesn't matter, because it really does, because we can inspire other people like generations to come. But the reason I'm saying it's liberating is because so many things that we think are a big deal, we can just shift the meaning and say, you know what, it's part of life experience, but we can just let it go, move forward, change our perspective. And when I then talked to my grandma and she was like, do the things that you want to do, don't wait. I was like, she's right. I mean, I've always known it, but at the same time, that coming from her, I was like, there's so much power in that, like someone who has lived more than 90 years, who experienced like so many different things growing up during World War II, growing up on a farm, having to work like under harsh conditions. Having someone like that tell me that, I was like, wow, I have the privilege of living in during times where I can do so many things. We have access to the internet, like knowledge is accessible 24/7. And I know there are parts of this world where that might not apply to for people because of what their current situations are, what like the situations are in their countries. But I'm really referring to those of us who do have the privilege to choose our lives. And I want to use this time to encourage you that you take life seriously, not serious. That you are starting to have more lightness, to have more joy in your life, and that you stop waiting and procrastinating, because so many of us, we could live the life that we desire if we just went for it. Like if we just stepped out of our comfort zone, stopped waiting for like all those opportunities or experiences or people making it possible. Because then we make other people responsible for our happiness. And believe me when I say that, it does not work. I've tried it and I failed. In romantic relationships, I've always I've always kind of felt that way of like, when I'm in a relationship, then I'm going to be fulfilled, then I'm going to be happy, and I could live in a cabin in the woods and nothing else would matter. But that is so freaking wrong, because in that moment I forgot that I matter, that my life matters, that people who love me, that they matter. But in that moment as well, I postponed happiness. I postponed happiness and joy, waiting for someone to come into my life that I can share the happiness with. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm waiting for someone so I can be really happy, to share happiness with. It does not exist because I'm waiting for someone to give it to me. I'm like, how does that work? If two people do that, then they're like, well, I'm not happy. I hope you're happy, because if you're not, then you make me happy, I make you happy, and then we share something that we don't even know how it feels. That's not going to work. So I made it my kind of mission for myself to be happy, to look forward to different experiences in life, to make plans, to really look at things that I'm like, what is it that I've postponed, that I procrastinated on. And one of the things I'm going to start again in June, and I'm super stoked for, is horseback riding. Like, this is my childhood dream. I always loved horses, and I did start horseback riding in 2018 after my relationship with a narcissist ended, and I was like, I can either start living or I can just go through the motions and just be an emotional robot kind of. And I decided to give life another chance. And now, through the end of my relationship in the beginning of this year, I got reminded again that life is there to be experienced, to be lived. the ups, the downs, the in-betweens. And now I think my grandma gave me the last little bit of a nudge where I'm like, don't procrastinate. Do it now. Whatever you're passionate about, whatever you were holding back, do it now. If you see someone attractive or that has some incredible energy that you see on the train or on the street, talk to them. Don't wait for the next time you might maybe see them. If you like someone, if you love someone, tell them. You never know if this is the last time, the last chance that you get to tell them. And I'm not saying that like with the feeling of like FOMO, fear of missing out. Quite the opposite. It's not the fear that you're missing out, but the joy that you don't. The joy that you are experiencing it. The joy that you are taking the opportunities that life has to offer. And I'm not talking about the opportunities that just come your way, but the ones that you are creating, the one that you are seeking out, the one you are going after. This is your life. Your life. How about you make the choices how you want to live? And I know there's a lot of things that cost money. There's a lot of things that are not possible immediately. But then start planning. Don't procrastinate the planning. Start making like a vision board. Start visualizing it. Just start telling yourself, I am on my way to get that. I'm on my way to experience that. I'm doing everything in my power to take charge of my own life. Start with, like, if you start your day with those kind of affirmations, we're like, I'm committed today to experience this day to its fullest, to be the best version that I can be, to create happy experiences. If something happens that is not to my liking, I'm gonna use it to experience and be aware of different parts of life, of different aspects of life. If you're starting with those kind of affirmations every single day, every day has the potential to be incredibly unique and life-changing. Because you are then taking charge of how your day is going to be. By making a decision in the morning how your day is going to be. And always add the acceptance of it could also be different. It could be worse. It could be more exciting. But that is the beauty of life. We are living it for the first time. Nobody has figured out life. Nobody. No matter what they want to tell you, no matter how much money they want from you to show you how life works, nobody has life figured out. Nobody. Don't listen to all those people who tell you, I can show you how to like make life work or whatever. Like, that is bullshit. Even what I'm saying, like, I'm sharing with you my experiences, not to tell you how to live your life, but to inspire you that you find your own way, but that you start implementing and experimenting with different tools, with different things that you can just see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, but make it your own journey. That is my goal here, that you are creating your own life journey on your terms. But of course, always with life has not been figured out by anyone. Even if we think we have life figured out, things going to happen that we have not figured out. But that is, if we embrace that as the beauty of life, of not knowing what's going to happen. I don't know, I don't want to know when my life is going to end. I don't know who I'm going to marry. I don't want to know what's going to happen in a year from now. I want to experience it. I want to experience it unfolding. I don't want to know everything ahead of time. if people tell me the end of a movie or a TV show, it's very, very difficult for me to even start watching it. Because I'm like, I don't want to know. I want to see it play out. I want to see like the how it develops and then see the end at the end. I did that a couple times as a kid. I had a book. It was something about horses. It's wow, I haven't thought about that book for so long. But I had a book and I made the mistake of reading the end because I was so excited for the book. I read the end before I started reading the rest of the book. I do not remember ever reading the book because I read the end. So why would I read the book? That was my experience. For you, it could be different, but that was my experience. And that is also kind of like, for me, how I want to embrace life. Not knowing the end, but giving my best to show up every day as my true self, as my authentic self, without holding back, without really, without holding back, without pretending, without a mask. I've done that for so long and it's so tiring. Like being or creating those videos, I feel so liberated because I'm like, I just say whatever I get inspired to say. I'm not filtering it. I'm not cutting my videos. Well, I cut like one video because I just kept forgetting what I was saying and I made like 3 points. It was like point one. I'm like, shit, I forgot. And that happened 3 times in that video. So I'm like, I cut it. But that was it. I usually do not cut unless it's a technical issue and I want to prevent restarting the whole thing. But what I'm saying, it's unfiltered. I don't really plan on what I'm going to say because I'm like, I want to be completely authentic the way I'm showing up here. I don't want to be rehearsed when I show up here. I don't want to teach when I'm up here. I want to share. I want to inspire. I want to encourage. And yes, there might be certain things that I share with you, like certain tools or certain exercises, but that's not for me to teach you, but for me to inspire you to reflect, to go within, to reconnect with yourself, so that you can inspire yourself to live life the way you want to live. Because guess what? You deserve it. You are worthy of it. You deserve to live the life that you want. No matter what people say, no matter what your life circumstances are right now, you deserve everything that you want and more. All right, with that, I leave you for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please, I would really appreciate it if you like this video, if you comment, share with you what you took with you from this video. And of course, if you have not subscribed yet, I would truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you did that, your support means the world to me. Everybody who already has subscribed, I appreciate you. Thank you. And as always, lots of love and a big squeezy hug from Austria.